I'm going to speak about the draft upcoming through a series of videos. I don't have a script, at least today I don't. One of the things I want to do today is focus on Tyler Linderbaum and the center position generally. We will watch a few examples on tape of Tyler. This video is just for Ravens fans. We may watch a lot of film on Tyler, but I wanted to make it as Ravens-centric as I could, not just a sort of film breakdown generally on him. I want to address the idea of needs. The Ravens' needs, to me, are alarming. Now, every team might say the same thing. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. I'm just speaking about the Ravens. Certainly an argument could be made that they need a linebacker paired up with Queen. In any case, you do need a true Mike linebacker. After a year and a half or a year and a third, let's say, they determined that Patrick was better equipped as a will linebacker. A lot of people were saying that straight away, but they did figure that. Devin Lloyd does make this team better, and people don't, I'm sure some Ravens fans would be up in arms with him as the first round selection. But he would make an impact on this team. There's no question about it. He would improve this team. He's a guy you could look at every single game. And I think from the first game, just generally improve the defense. He may well be the best player on the board when the Ravens pick. There's certainly a possibility of that. To me, he's a top 14 player. The biggest area of need, I think, in most people's mind, most Ravens fans' mind, is the tackle position. And most would consider that a plural need. You need tackles. Cannot rely on Ronnie Stanley to stay healthy. If he comes back healthy, I wonder about him staying healthy. And at this point, there seems to be some doubt about him even coming back. So you need a left tackle. You need a right tackle. They can patchwork it, which is to say that they could patchwork the right tackle spot if they had to with McCary, perhaps a free agent signing. Perhaps Juwan James does work out. That's not something I think Ravens fans should count on. But they need to pick up depth at the tackle position, and they need, if at all possible, to get a left tackle in this draft. The Ravens have largely ignored the center position in the draft, and the reason we want to focus on the center position, particularly in this video, is that there's a very good chance all three of the top tackles are long gone by the time the Ravens get on the clock. And a lot of people might consider Tyler Linderbaum the best line prospect after that. Neal, Ekem, and Charles Cross, long gone. I would love Charles Cross at left tackle. In any case, they may be in a position where they consider center. I sort of doubt it. I sort of doubt they would take Linderbaum. I think he would be perhaps trade bait, somebody moving to come up and get him. That's a possibility. But they've ignored the center position. Seems every year as I watch draft videos, I get high on a particular center prospect, going back to Elton Jenkins. And then last year, super on board with us drafting Creed Humphrey. I still maintain that was the pick in the first round. We should have gotten Creed Humphrey. Probably not popular because a lot of Ravens fans, and I'm including myself, fall for the draft picks. Those are both Owe and the wideout are both good picks. No question. They could turn out to be great picks. I still maintain that Creed Humphrey would have been a better pick. And looking back in hindsight as to which one of those first rounders I would have done without, it would have been Bateman. I think ultimately the offense improves, the quarterback play improves overall more with a player like Creed Humphrey at center. So I'll get off that. I know there's a difference of opinion about that, I'm sure. Again, I like both prospects. I like Bateman. He is good. He's going to be good. But I would have gone Creed Humphrey, and not really hindsight there. I was really on board with him early, and I think a lot of people were. Let's get into the film on Linderbaum. I would love to get your take in the comments section on what you think of him as a player. as it relates to the Ravens taking him at pick 14, how he would fit. These are the sort of plays that get you real excited about Tyler Linderbaum as a prospect. They ask him here to go across a gap and a half and reach this 3 technique. He does, and as a consequence, they run the ball right off his backside here for a good gain. Watch as he gets out of his stance, how he continues to work that outside arm to regain inside hand position so that he might, right there, so that he might turn this defender. That's just pretty rare stuff. Watch it again. Another great block. They want him to get this 2-eye. This guy picks up on the outside or even this kind of mid-zone look right away, and he kind of runs with the block. So he's not working inside. He's pretty much off with the snap of the football. Watch how Tyler knocks his hand away, his inside arm away, then dips his shoulder. Just great athleticism, gets in front of him, makes a great block, completely cuts him off. They're trying to get this off the inside foot of the left tackle here. And then watch him pick up this safety. Once he's got him sealed, he's working under the assumption that that ball's coming right behind him here. So really, really aware. Tremendous block, I think. I also want to point out number 40 for Penn State, who has been catching my eye, Jesse Luketa, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Really nice against the run. I think he's probably somebody that's around mid rounds, maybe even day 3. Was watching two guys watching football break down Tyler Linderbaum. They were talking about getting him out on these pin pull concepts. I figured I'd look for one. That's Spencer Schultz and Cole Jackson. Really awesome offensive line stuff. So obviously Tyler has no problem in space or being utilized this way. You can see him firing off the line here. Does a great job getting great movement on this double team with the right guard. Big push downfield. He's also very active with his eyes. Has great timing coming off double teams, finding a defensive back, finding a linebacker. You see that all the time with him. He's very, very good at that. Watch it again. I have to imagine that if they drafted Linderbaum, they do so with the intention of adapting the offense to some of the things that he does well, at least in some part. You know, it doesn't mean they'll get away from the gap scheme. It just means, I believe, they would run a lot more outside zone, duo, inside zone, double teams, climbs. They would get him out in space more. I think the Ravens have 2 very good zone runners. Gus is extremely, I think, underrated outside, and Dobbins is very, very good that way. Did a lot of that in college. I did notice in the 2 games I watched before this video that he struggled at times versus Purdue and versus Maryland with bull rushes, strength, and length. What appeared to be struggles with length across from him. This is him versus Iowa State, one-on-one versus the nose. You can see he gets his hands initially in the chest of the defender. The defender's able to grab his wrist and throw him aside. Same game, 3-man pressure, empty set. Quarterback probably holds the ball a little bit here. You can see that the nose across from Tyler, he's one-on-one with him, has his elbows locked. He's going to try to rip Tyler down. Tyler has this really great knack for staying attached or becoming attached. He is a fighter. There's no getting around that. You can see him getting tossed around a little bit at the end here. And I feel like the quarterback may run into that thing just a little bit. Watch it again. Let me know your thoughts on whether or not the Ravens should or would select Linderbaum given a scenario where the 3 top tackles are off the board. It may be that the Ravens view him as exceptional in terms of what he does well, rare. And they may work with his strength. It's certainly not an issue of technique. But he's light. He needs to put on some weight. He's 290 for what they would typically draft. So let me know your thoughts.